Welcome back, everyone, to episode 18 of our World Cup 2026 daily series. I'm Arthur, and sitting across from me with her spreadsheets fully loaded is my daughter, Nora. We've made it, folks. The group stage has officially wrapped up.
Thanks, Dad, and what a wrap-up it was. Welcome to the knockout stage, listeners, where legends are made and dreams are dashed. The math gets very simple from here on out. Win or go home.
Looking back over these final group matches, it really has been a roller coaster of emotions. The atmosphere out there is just staggering. Take the Algeria versus Austria match, or the heartbreak we saw with Iran. Iran came into this tournament with so much turmoil, and they desperately needed a lifeline. Instead, they get knocked out by a last-second goal from Austria. It's the cruelest part of the beautiful game.
It really is cruel, but the numbers saw it coming. Iran's expected goals per 90 were lagging all tournament. And when you can't convert, you leave the door open for late heartbreak. Speaking of late drama, how about DR Congo setting up a last 32 meeting with England after that phenomenal comeback win over Uzbekistan?
Absolutely magical. That is what the World Cup is all about. And looking at England, they played Panama to close out their group. And Jordan Pickford came out publicly backing England's attacking approach. He even said, "We don't want penalties." It's refreshing to see a team not just sitting back. Though, I have to say, not every heavyweight looked convincing. Look at Germany.
Germany definitely showed some weak points. Their transition defense has been leaking.
It's deeper than that, Nora. It feels like Germany is trapped between their past and their future. There's a real identity malaise in that squad right now. They don't have that classic ruthless efficiency. And they aren't the only ones suffering setbacks. In the Uruguay against Spain match, we saw Ugarte sustain serious knee ligament damage.
That was a massive tactical blow for Uruguay and a huge factor in their early exit. Ugarte was their engine. Before he went down, his tackles and interceptions per 90 were in the 90th percentile for the tournament. Once they lost him sweeping up in the midfield, their backline was completely exposed against Spain, which ultimately cost them their spot in the knockouts. We also saw Colombia take the top spot over Portugal after a tense draw, and Croatia snatching second in their group by beating Ghana. And the goal drought for Belgium is finally over after a 5-1 statement against New Zealand. As such, they top the group despite winning only once.
An absolute confidence booster after the critique. And even without winning, it is possible to survive the group stage. Let's talk about Cabo Verde's historical exploit.
Let's do it. So, Cabo Verde has been dubbed the fairy tale of the tournament, but I want to strip away the romance for a second and look at the architecture of their success. Tactically, they are fascinating. They've been playing this highly fluid 4-2-3-1. But what stands out in my notebook is their expected goals on target. They are creating high-value chances. However, we have to be critical about their defensive shape. Against Saudi Arabia, they conceded way too many big chances. Their tackles per 90 in the middle third are significantly below the tournament average. If they want to survive the round of 32, they have to tighten up that midfield pivot. But let's be real, they have 0% chance to proceed against Argentina and Messi performing at his peak.
I hear your numbers, Nora, but you can't quantify belief. When you look at the World Cup color chart, seeing the fans of all 48 teams joining the party, Cabo Verde's supporters bring an energy that elevates those players. They might be giving up space in the midfield, but they are playing freely. They are heroes already, and that Argentina game is just a big bonus event.
Belief is great, Dad, but belief doesn't intercept a through ball. Still, I agree they are a joy to watch.
Speaking of a joy to watch, the pressure of these upcoming knockout games makes me think of the true icons of the sport. We've talked about so many, but today I want to bring up the divine ponytail himself, Roberto Baggio. He was an attacking midfielder with a grace that almost looked like he was gliding above the grass. But his most memorable World Cup moment isn't a goal. It's a miss. The 1994 World Cup final. Standing over the penalty spot against Brazil in the searing Pasadena heat. The weight of an entire nation on his shoulders, and he skies it over the crossbar. It shows that even the most technically gifted artists are profoundly human under the ultimate pressure.
There is a fantastic documentary about Baggio on Netflix, by the way, but that's a perfect segue into a modern problem, Dad. I was just reading a great piece today titled No Place to Hide: The High Stress of the Penalty Kick. Baggio's miss is the classic example, but today teams employ entire psychology and analytics departments just to map out penalty strategies. They analyze the goalkeeper's dive tendencies and the shooter's heart rate in high-leverage situations. It's not just about hitting the ball cleanly anymore, it's about managing the cognitive load of the moment.
A cognitive load, well, whatever you want to call it, it still comes down to one player, one ball, and one goalkeeper.
True, but let's shift gears to what's happening off the pitch, because the internet is absolutely buzzing right now. First off, Lionel Messi is breaking the internet again. He stepped off the bench against Jordan and scored, becoming the first player in history to score in 7 consecutive World Cup matches. The timelines are just flooded with GOAT emojis. Plus, the Cabo Verde Fairytale has taken over social media. And then there are all these viral prediction filters on TikTok trying to guess how far they'll go, and fans are completely eating it up.
I might not know how to use a prediction filter, but I do know a good atmosphere when I see one. Even thousands of miles away from the stadiums, the global reach is incredible. Down in Sydney, the Algerian community gathered in massive numbers, sharing cups of tea and roaring at the screens during their nail-biter against Austria. That communal tension, that shared gasp when a shot hits the post, that's the magic no social media app can replicate.
Okay, custodian of history, I'll let you have that one. The atmosphere is indeed global, just like our podcast. Since yesterday's episode, we have officially reached every continent, so I would like to take a moment to express special thanks to all our listeners spread across 16 different countries. But let's look forward to the pitch today. We've got the round of 32 kicking off.
And what a slate we have. Netherlands taking on Morocco, Mexico against Ecuador, and Belgium facing Senegal are some fixtures that could deliver something special. The Netherlands and Morocco tie in particular has such a rich backstory. It's being described as street football on the world stage. Two nations with deep connections and incredibly technical, expressive styles of play. And then there's Portugal facing Croatia in Toronto on July 2nd.
The Netherlands-Morocco game is going to be heavily decided in the transition zones. But honestly, looking at the entire board, we have to talk about Canada entering the round of 32 against South Africa. History is on the line for the Canadian program. The stakes literally couldn't be higher.
Absolutely. Canada against South Africa is currently ongoing, but no goals have been scored yet in the LA Stadium. But it's not without controversy. Manager Jesse Marsch has made a massive call. Bombito is drawing into the starting 11, and Sile Laren is back to the bench. Caldwell was just on the broadcast saying it's an enormous risk to start Bombito in a knockout game like this.
It is a risk, but it's a calculated one. Marsch specifically noted that bringing Bombito and Eustáquio into the starting lineup is designed to improve their overall intensity and ball recovery metrics. South Africa is incredibly dangerous on the counter, and Canada needs that defensive bite. Plus, we got the news that Alphonso Davies is healthy and ready to perform. Kilbane put it perfectly. Now is the time that they have to unleash him. Nevertheless, he started on the bench.
I agree. You don't save your best player for tomorrow when tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so I expect him to enter the pitch later in this game as long as they are not leading by 2 goals. De Guzman echoed that sentiment. It doesn't matter what the result is, Davies needs to play. It's a shame about Ismail Koné, though. His injury heartbreak is a tough pill to swallow, but I love seeing that he's staying in good spirits and trying to inspire the team from the sidelines.
Exactly. Saliba mentioned that Canada is far from done, and Richie Laryea warned that they have to come out flying from minute 1. If Canada gets past South Africa, the legacy of this 2026 World Cup for their program changes from a good showing to a foundational triumph.
It's going to be a tense, beautiful day of football. That's all we have time for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 18 as we close the book on the group stages.
Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow, we'll be breaking down the fallout from these first knockout matches, diving into the heat maps, and seeing whose World Cup dreams stay alive. See you then.